Hello and welcome to my channel Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and I live in Ayrshire in the west coast of Scotland. Other places that you can find me online are Ravelry. I'm Shuttermonkey Designs over there, and that's where I sell all my knitting and crochet patterns. If you're not on Ravelry, you can also find my knitting and crochet patterns on Love Crafts, Shuttermonkey Designs again. I did have a little Etsy shop, but I don't have anything in there just now. There was just too many fees with Etsy. But what I have done is I've moved everything onto eBay because I just want rid out my room. But I'll tell you more about that later on. You can also find me on Payhip, Shuttermonkey Designs again, and that's where you'll find all the downloads required that go along with my video tutorials. The other place that you would find me is Instagram. I'm wee Shuttermonkey over there, but to be honest with you, I've not really been very active in social media at all over the past few months. The content in my video blog is mostly knitting, crochet and a little bit of patchwork and quilting. So the first thing I'm going to show you today is some Advent yarn. Now I know you're probably thinking Advent season, it's long gone, long by with, but do you know what? These are going to be going on sale again in a couple of months, so maybe if you see something you like, it will encourage you to buy that for that particular yarn dyer. So this is the first calendar that I bought. That actually looks really amazing when you see it like this. I haven't actually laid these out all together since I opened my calendar, so it's nice to see them. Now this one is the Cosy and Warm Advent Calendar, and it was by Beehive Yarns. Oh, it's really pretty when you see it like that. I think I'm just going to leave this in a stick and hang it up in my wall. Call it wall art. But it's really nice. And I think what I would like to do with this is actually, the first 8, I'm thinking of trying to knit the Glacial Light by Caitlin Hunter. And I think that would be quite nice. Have I got a copy of the pattern here actually? I thought I looked it out. Oh, I actually have a copy of the pattern here. Now this version is only done in 4 colours, but you could do those stripes really easily with a different Advent mini. And you could even have the top bit, you could have that different Advents too, couldn't you? So I think that's what I'm going to do with this one. And I'm just going to go get the other one to show you. Right, here we go. This was the second Advent calendar that I bought. I'm going to leave that one over there. It looks really sweet, doesn't it? And this one was the Winter Wonderland Advent by the Fibre Fox. I love how different they both are, because one of them's richer, darker colours and this one's more muted pastel shades. I'm not really sure what to do with this one. I've seen quite a few sweaters, stripy sweaters knitted that I really like, and I've been saving them all to a little folder on Instagram. There's a lot of shawls being knitted with this, or wraps or blankets, but see, to be honest with you, I wouldn't wear a shawl, so I don't want to knit a shawl with it and then not use it. Maybe a sweater, I would get more wear out of that. But I'm going to pop this one away, okay? But they just look so nice. They just look so pretty. And that wasn't my last Advent calendar, because I actually bought 3 in 2021. See, because they went in sale so early, and you can pay them up over the year, they don't feel as expensive, even though they're exactly the same price. So I ended up buying 3. And this was the first one that I had my eye on. I'm going to turn it that way because maybe you can see it better. I haven't even taken these out of the box yet. This one is actually by Vicki Brown Designs. And this one is nice rainbow colours in here. The other ones are a fade. They work through a fade, as you've seen. And this one, it's just totally different again, isn't it? But I would like to crochet a cardigan with this one. It's a vintage cardigan. I think it is just called Vintage Cardigan. But I don't have the pattern yet, so I'll need to try and get a hold of the crochet magazine that it was in on eBay, so I can do that. But this one was a Midsummer Night's Dream, And as you open the doors, they don't come out in rainbow order, but once you open them all, you can see the rainbow order, and you can knit them in rainbow order if that's what you prefer. Right, let's get the calendars away and we'll move on to the knitting section. Right, I'm going to get right back to Christmas socks because it's been so long you haven't even seen my Christmas socks. The only Christmas socks that I knitted 4 pairs for my son, his partner and their 2 wee boys. This isn't their socks, it's just to give you an indication of size. Okay, so this is a regular gent sock, large size sock, 72 stitches. My son's actually had green heel, toes and cuffs all the way through his, and then you've got a lady's size sock. Okay, you all know what they're like. These are actually me and my husband's socks. I knitted these a few years ago. They aren't the ones I just knitted before Christmas, but it's to give you an idea of the size. The ones I knitted for my daughter-in-law, they were all red. They had red toes, red heels, red cuffs. But then I knitted one for my oldest grandson, and look at the difference in the size. It's just so cute, isn't it? Why is everything much cuter when it's smaller? But this is just a standard small sock. It's not really that small, but it's just so cute. And then the littlest one, who's only 2, look at his size of his socks. I'm trying to hide my scabby plaster. I've got a raggy bit in my finger and it keeps bursting open, so I've got a plaster on because I don't want to end up bleeding all over the yarn. But how stinking cute is that one? It's so toty. Do you know, I was so impressed with the socks when I knitted them. The little ones, that actually knitted 3 of each sock so I could keep one. I just wanted one so I had a sock that fitted them for Christmas 2021. That's the size of their feet, because especially the wee one, Jaden's feet are going to really grow fast. He's not going to have wee dinky feet like that next Christmas, is he? But I just thought they were cute. So as I say, and that's why I've got these ones in this size. I knitted 3 of that sock and 3 of that sock just so I could keep 1 sock each size. And these are just wee, it's actually plastic folders. I just used the covers of the plastic folders to make little sock blockers. Because there was no point buying sock blockers because their feet aren't going to be that size next year. But look at those. Every sock, I think I should knit every sock in that size because it's just so sweet. Just before I put these away, these ones, they're all West Yorkshire Spinners yarns, candy cane colourway, all knitted in 225s. So there was a large size for my son, medium size 64 stitches for my daughter-in-law. This is just the 56 stitch, a standard small sock. And Jaden's actually worked out in 48 stitches. So it's not that less stitches, but it's just so cute. And it was just the red colourway and the green colourway that matches the candy cane yarn, again West Yorkshire Spinners. I had lots of that left over because I've knitted those socks before. But they're just so sweet, aren't they? Just throwing them in a box down there so they're not in my way. The other sock that I've got to show you is a test knit that I did. You've all seen this one before, Gingerbread Dreams, and I'll put a wee link below to the pattern. But I test knit this end of October, beginning of November last year. And it's just a really nice design. This is actually duplicate stitched on. You knit the heel and then stitch it on later on. And I've actually only still knitted 1 sock. I still need to do the second one. But I had a wee bit of bother with this bit here. My colour work was too tight. I knitted it on a 9-inch circular needle and I stuck to the same needle size, 225s that I always use for socks. But I've struggled to get it over, get it on my foot, get it over my heel. It's too tight. I even tried it in my daughter. She's the same size feet as me, but she's got slightly slimmer ankles than me. She can't get it on. And I struggled to get it on Kevin. So for the second one, I'm going to have to do a bit of swatching, which I don't mind doing. I don't mind swatching, but I'm going to have to buy bigger needles. And I don't really know how much bigger to take my needles. Colour work's normally fine. I don't have a problem with colour work. It's not too small. But I think it's that 9-inch circular needle. That was the first time I've used that and it's just tightened everything up. I have bought the Addy, the Sock Wonder ones, but I bought a 2.5. So I'll try the next one in that. But I'm worried that might not even be big enough because I think some people are saying if you're using these wee circulars, you should go up 2 sizes. But I'll try it and see. And this one won't go to waste because what I can do is unpick it, see around here. And once I know what needle size to use, I'll knit it back up the way and I'll get it right. So it won't go to waste, this one. But my gingerbread's quite dark, and it's darker than the original pattern, but I quite like my gingerbread that colour. I've got lots of little gingerbread toys and knitted things that I've made, and they're all this darker shade. Oh wait, I can show you one. I'm back with my gingerbread houses. See, mine's is quite dark, isn't it? And I know the original sock design was lighter. It's maybe not quite as dark, but I do like the darker shade. I know that's quite dark, but oops. This is actually a pattern by Alan Dart, and I knitted this, oh golly, it must be about 12 years ago. And you knit all the wee accessories and sew them on. But that's something you can find that pattern. I think it's on his website. Something to knit for next Christmas, maybe a wee advent project for you. And my other gingerbread house, just pop that down, is this one. I do like gingerbread houses. Like Halloween houses, I like my gingerbread houses at Christmas. This one was actually machine embroidered. Couldn't remember what it was there. And yeah, it was a class that I went to, and I bought the pattern and took it along and asked them could I do this during my class time rather than the class project. But it took me about 6 months. It was only 2 hours, once a fortnight. I think I've showed you my little Halloween one before. Well, this is the gingerbread version that I made. And a wee light sits in there, and it just sits on a shelf with a wee light on, and it glows at night time. But you just put it in, you just put the program into the machine, and the machine does all the work, and you just sit there for the 2 hours and knit or crochet while the machine does all the work for you. And then at the end you've got all your wee pieces that you have to sew together. But that's my gingerbread houses. And that is my gingerbread sock. And as I say, I really need to get the second one done. If you've done colour work on the circular needles, let me know how you got on, will you? So I know whether I need to go up, maybe I need to go up another needle size, go up to the 3 rather than just the 2.5. But I'll experiment with that first one anyway, see how I get on. I'm going to show you what I'm working on right now, okay? I'm loving this, absolutely loving it. I have to be careful how I hold it up. But this is the Safe Space Blanket by Skinanigans, and I am really enjoying working on this. That's the pattern there, and again I'll link it all below so you can get the links. But this is as far as I'm going with these colours. I'm now going to have to wait until for February's colourways to come out, and I don't think they get posted till the end of this month. But the yarn is by Henny Penny Makes. She's in Montrose in Scotland, up in the northeast coast. And this is actually a different colourway from this one. I know they look very similar. But this is her Colour Therapy Club. And she was selling this colourway last year. She was selling it. It was a monthly club. And I didn't find out about it until maybe about the beginning of summer. And I really, really liked it. And I thought I'm going to join in if she does it again next year. So she's released year 2, slightly different colourways. But she was also doing year 1 again, so I'm buying both of them. So that's year 1, and this is year 2. The original plan was to put them both into the blanket, but I think I might just leave this one like this. And if I change my mind, maybe I could do this one separately, and then I could join them along the middle. So one side of my blanket's year 1 and the other side is year 2. Then the other thing that I thought was, I wonder if I could turn it into a cardigan. What am I like? Because you could just add on to it till it's the right length and it comes to your shoulder, and that would be the front. And then you could have it going down the back, and you could work out how to do sleeves going out the way, couldn't you? I would be like Joseph in his multicolour. Joseph in his Technicolor Dreamcoat. But I'll probably just stick, because then I started to think these bits here would be great with buttons on, and they fold over, wouldn't they? The wee bits of yarn that are still attached here and onto this one, that one is the first row, and I had to stop knitting there. And it's going to be the next colourway, which I think it's red next month. It might be red. So I need to add another hexagon onto this bit, so I can then finish the centre one So I've just left the yarn attached. I've just kind of wound it back up into a skein. And then once I finish that one there, I can finish this one here. So that's why the yarn is still attached on both of these ones. But I will get there. Loving how it's knitting up. The only thing, my arm's getting sore holding this up. The only thing that I had a problem with was when I knitted the first row, I didn't go right back. It's a setup row, this one's called. And the pattern didn't tell you, it just told you to keep repeating what you were doing. So I kept going right back to the beginning of the pattern. But when you come to this column here, it tells you only go back to, this is the second column, and it tells you to go back to row 2. That one didn't tell you to start at row 2, and I had to keep, it just wasn't, I'd only knitted 2 of them when I was trying to add this bit in, and I realised my error. And I had to rip this side out and start again. But if you're doing the pattern, if you're doing that first column, only go back to set up round 2 rather than going right back to the start. It'll give you one less garter stitch ridge in your hexagons, and it makes all the difference when it comes to adding these ones in. I don't know if it's just me, that just wasn't finding it clear at all, but it could be me. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And as I say, that is year 2, and I don't know whether that's going into this or whether I would like to actually crochet something with it. It's DK weight, it's the DK weight I bought, and it's the mixed DK bundle, so it's 10 gram minis in each bundle, and I'm using 375 Knit Pro Symphony needles, and they're only the little 6-inch length. They're tiny, aren't they? But they're just perfect for knitting this wee blanket. I actually bought these last year to knit the Polygon blanket, and after ordering these online, I realised that the Polygon blanket is knitted in the round. So there you go, I had these needles ready and waiting to go. Right, let me just pop this out of the way. Oh, this is all my little leftovers. Probably won't be able to hold all these up. This is all my little leftovers. I think I'm going to show you these. There we go. All my little leftovers for my DK mini skeins. And I'm wondering whether just to use these to make scrappy socks. Some scrappy DK socks. See how many pairs I get, because I've not been knitting much socks recently. So I might do that. Right. What else have I been working on? Log cabin squares. I did show you this last time. Yesterday I actually watched my last episode because I wasn't sure what I'd showed you. What you'd already seen and what I'd been working on. Did I show that last time? So I watched it. I watched my last episode yesterday. I had to shut the living room blinds because I didn't want my neighbours seeing me watching myself in the telly and thinking, narcissist watching herself. But anyway, so I know I showed you this before, but I told you I was going to rip it out, and I did. I ripped it out and did it again. And I've added another round on. Excuse me, frog in my throat. So this is how it's looking now. So this is It's Just a Coincidence yarn club from Nora George Yarns. And each month she was teaming up with another yarn dyer. And this is the one from Layfamily Yarns. Just look how different they both are. I did use my own log blanket pattern to make these, and the only change I made was picking up the stitches. I didn't slip my stitches at the end of the rows, and I used a tutorial from Very Pink Knits. She's got a log cabin pattern, and she just knits right to the end of the row and then knits into the stitches, which worked better. And I'm so happy with those now. So I've only got like another 6 colourways to go, and then that'll be those done. But I have blocked them, and I've sewn in all my ends at the back, apart from the ones hanging around the edges. But once I join them onto each other or add on a border, I'll get those final ends sewn in. So that's those and how they're looking. It seems to be all about the blankets just now. I haven't knitted many socks at all. You've seen this one before. Started it last year. And it's all Layfamily yarns, the little palette packs and the 20 gram packs. So that's the January ones there, and it'll become clear why I'm showing you this again. I haven't finished it, but do you know that week between Christmas and New Year where you don't know what to be doing with yourself? I looked out all the other packs that I had left and finished them. So this is the blue ones, all my little blue hexagons. And then I did the purple ones. So I've got 14 in each colourway. So I need to lay these out and sew them together and add them into my blanket. And this is going to be my centre. I bought the December pack. I didn't buy every pack last year. I only bought January to August. And I thought, right, I've got enough. But then I see the centre of the blanket. I thought I would patch it up with any leftovers. But then I saw this one in December. It was a rainbow one, pastel rainbows. And I bought that too. So that's going to be my centre in my blanket. So I just need to get a wee bit of time and sew these together and add them in. And then I've just got to do some wee half hexagons for around the outside, which is maybe only 2 each colourway. And then that'll be that done. I did buy some yarn for the edging of the blanket because I won't have enough of the scraps that I've got left over, I don't think, for an edging. And rather than doing it scrappy, I thought I could do it with this. So I bought a couple of skeins of this. Again, it's from Layfamily yarn, part of the Squiddle Village collection. And this one's called Rainbow Drops. So it's lots and lots of speckles in every colour of the rainbow. And I thought that'll be lovely around the edge of my rainbow blanket. So I need to get that done. And the reason for dragging that blanket out and showing you it, and showing you all my little hexagons, was the leftovers from the pink. I started another blanket. Here we go. Is there a right way up? I don't think so. Cosy Memories blanket. Loads of you have probably already made one of these. And this is all my leftovers from my January colourway, the Polygon blanket. The reason for dragging that back out and showing you again when it's not finished. But I used my Layfamily yarns left over from the pink, and also the pink from my log cabins from Blue Fern Yarns in Nora George. And this is just lovely to work on. I did have a bit of bother. I started it in 225s. It's just the, excuse me, the Knitted Patchwork Recipe Blanket by Martine Ellis. This is a free download on Ravelry. And I started mine in 225s. Didn't like it. And also used the backward loop cast on. Didn't like that either. So I changed it to bigger needles. 275s I'm on now. And I'm always using the thumb cast on. So if you just watch what you pick up first, you do your thumb cast on first and then you pick up along the edge. I like that much better. And I'm also doing slip the first stitch knitwise and knit into the back of the loop. I'm sure that's what I'm doing, because I didn't like my big loopy edges as well down the side. See, if you slip stitch them purlwise, you end up with the big purl edges, and it was so baggy and untidy, and it didn't even look untidy when I picked up and added on another block. So 3 goes it took me to get it the way I want it, but I'm happy with it now. And I'm just going to keep adding all my spare scraps of pink in there. What I don't know what to do, when I finish the next colour of the log cabin squares, I'll have more leftovers to put in, but they'll be red. I've got red on my Polygon blanket as well, and I'm not really sure whether to just morph into red, or do you do the red ones separately and then just see how big your pink section gets, see how big your red gets, your green gets, and then sew them together. I'm not sure whether just to keep adding them on, knitting them on, or do them, because I might find over the course of this year I might find more pink to go in here, and if I've already changed into another colour it might not work quite as well. So I might do that. Right, I'm going to pop this one away. And I've got one other blanket that I'm dreaming of making. This one, the Triangulum blanket by Ellie of Craft House Magic. I've been obsessing about this blanket slightly. And I think I'm going to use more pink. See, this is why I'm wondering whether or not to carry on with the Cosy Memories and get into other colours. This is the Biff Sugar Yarns, the Birthstone collection. So this was January's. More pink yarn, and it was garnet. And just before I started videoing today, this one arrived. This is the amethyst one. This is the February birthstones. I was really hoping this would come yesterday because it was my daughter's birthday yesterday, and it would just be nice to have the amethyst birthstone yarn arrive on her birthday, but it didn't make it till today. Oh, today is the 11th of February. Friday the 11th of February, because I didn't tell you that at the start, did I? So that's what I would like to use those for, and that'll give me more scrap yarn to put into my Cosy Memories blanket, won't it? It's all about the blankets just now. Hence the reason why I'm saying with the 2 lots of Advents I've got, I don't really want another blanket or a shawl because I won't wear them. But that's that. That's all I've got to show you knitting wise. The only other things I've been knitting on is lots of baby knits, actually. Not for grandsons. I'm a scholar. I'm an Evelyn Baxter scholar for the Scottish Women's Institute. And over the rest of this year, I'm going to be travelling around 15 different areas in Scotland, teaching people how to finish their knitting. So there'll be 6 different seaming techniques. There'll be a few different button bands, how to do those. Picking up stitches for button bands, if you're picking up stitches for putting on edgings onto, it would even work for blankets. Starting techniques, finishing techniques. What else are we doing? Shaping, lots of shaping to show people. So I'm going to be travelling about. I get to go do a 2-day class in 15 different areas of Scotland. And that's what I've been working on a lot over the past few months. It's taken up a lot of time, taken up a lot of effort and a lot of headspace. But I've had to practice in Ayrshire on some Ayrshire ladies. And we did day 1 last Saturday and I'm going to do day 2 tomorrow. So I'm ready to go out next week and teach my first class. So I'm not going to show you any of that knitting just now, but I will maybe show you it over the course of the next few episodes, because I'll do my best not to leave it 5 months. But right, we're going to move on to the crochet section, and I've only got one thing to show you here. Little scrubbies. This is a pattern by Nitty Natty. It's a free tutorial, and you use 3-inch tulle and you crochet it, and it's little scrubbies. You can do your cleaning with them, you can wash your dishes with them. They're really cute, aren't they? I've not actually used these yet, so I can't tell you how well they work, but it's better than keeping buying those little dishcloths, isn't it? Those little scourers. And they're cuter too. I had a wee bit of bother finding 6-inch tulle. So, I had a wee bit of bother finding 3-inch tulle. So I bought 6-inch tulle and chopped it in half. So I've got 2 little 3-inch tulle. And I think you can get 2 scrubbies from one side of it. So I should get 5 scrubbies from each one. And I did buy the 4 different colours. I actually bought it on eBay. The tulle itself was only $1.50 a roll, but the postage was $3.50. And I thought, well, if I'm going to pay $3.50 postage, I may as well buy another couple of colours and get my money's worth out of the postage. They only take 15 minutes to crochet up. You'll probably crochet them quicker if you do them, because I'm not very fast at crocheting and I'm not very fast at knitting either. Everything seems to take me longer than it takes other people. But that's the only thing I've been crocheting on. Now that I've showed them to you, I can go try them out and I'll tell you next time how they are. And I used, as well as the 3-inch tulle, I mean, this is what you're crocheting with, and you just scrunch it up as you crochet. I used a 7mm crochet hook. And as I say, 15 minutes, and they're done. So I'm just going to slide those out the way. And the only other thing we have to talk about today is the patchwork and quilting. I have completely lost my sojo. No notion to sew at all. I think it's just because I've been so busy with the knitting. I did teach a class in Ayrshire for the SWI, and it was the Stash and Dash bag by Patterns by Annie. And this is what it looks like here. I don't know if I've ever shown this on here before. Oh, I've not even rolled it up properly, hold on. So you've got a nice big long strap that wraps round, and there's a wee buckle here that you can lace it through, and it keeps it closed. There's a little PVC pocket on the back that you can pop a pattern in, or a travel pass if you're travelling and you've got your stuff in here for travelling. And when you unroll it, you've got 3 different pockets, one at the bottom and 2 bigger ones here. And I've actually just got some EPP in here, stored in here just now. But this is the class that I was teaching. It was supposed to be done the beginning of 2020. Yeah, beginning of 2020, but then obviously COVID hit couldn't do it, and it's been delayed twice. It was postponed twice. So I had cut out another bag ready to do while I was at class. And it was all ready to go because it hadn't been long since I made that one. So this one was all cut out, all ready to go to teach the class. And then I realised that just before it, I'm thinking, it's been 2 years. I don't know if I know what I'm doing. So I had to make a third one. This one I made at class while the ladies were doing it to show them step by step what to do. But I made another one just before I went to class. I really should tell you what the fabrics are, shouldn't I? This one is Cath Kidston. It was a tea towel. London fabric. And I've just dropped all the EPP bits out here. It's a Cath Kidston tea towel. And it's some cotton and steel here. It's just beige with a wee bit of silver glitter on it. And the inside of this one is the London Underground. I was making this a few years ago when I was going to London and I wanted to take some stuff with me. So that's why it's London themed. I'll pick that stuff up later. And I don't actually know what this fabric is. I know the black edging is Lewis and Irene. It's one of their bumbleberries. But the panda fabric, I don't know where it came from. It's just a fat quarter that I had. And if you've got a fat quarter, you can use half it for the outside and half it for the inside. And that's what I did because I like pandas. Amanda the panda. And the third one I made, show you this now that I've told you what my other fabrics are. This one was, I'm going to give this one to my daughter. So, and I can't remember what this fabric is. I'll find out and I'll maybe link it below. If I can find out, I'll link it below, okay? But it's a fat quarter bundle that I've got and I just love the fabric. It's a wee girl and she's got lots of animals. There's even a wee hedgehog on it. And she loves her hedgehogs. She rescues them and takes care of them. She rehomes them. And then inside as well, it's a slightly different fabric from the same range. But it just worked out perfect because I cut the fabric and up there it says Hedgehog Hideaway. So that's what she provides, little hedgehog hideaways. Forever homes for them. So that was probably the most exciting thing I've sewn in the past 5 months. The other thing that I've been working on is, you know, I teach patchwork and quilting classes in Yorkshire. It's once a fortnight. A group of ladies will come down and we have a 2-hour class. And I've got 3 different sessions that run once a fortnight. And because we can't, usually when you teach a class you can mingle about and you can ask people how they're getting on and you can look at what they're doing, you can touch their fabrics, you can touch their stuff if they bring in stuff to show you that they've made at home. Can't do that now. Things have all changed. So I tend to sit at the front of the room and try not to move off my chair too much. So while I'm sitting, I've got lots of leftovers from my gravity quilt, by the way, that I still haven't had quilted. I still need to do that. Not even sent the email asking about prices yet. I've got lots of leftovers from that. And I've just been cutting out 1.5-inch hexagons and basting them. So this is what I did between September and December. There were 21 different classes. Because there's 3 sessions and each had 7 classes. So this is what I did. Cut all the hexagons out and then basted them onto their paper backgrounds. I don't have a clue what I'm going to do with these, but they just look really pretty. And then we went back in January. We were delayed slightly going back and I had a few leftovers still to do. So that's the rest of them. I better not drop these. There we go. So that's what I do at classes to keep me out of mischief, to stop me wandering about, hanging about people, getting in their way or just being too close. I just sit down and I baste these, and if anybody needs a hand I can do it because you can still see what everybody's up to and baste a hexagon. But I did run out of the bigger chunks of fabric, so I then started cutting out smaller ones. So these ones are the 1.5-inch hexagons and these are 1-inch hexagons. And see, when I ran out of fabric that I couldn't get any more 1-inch hexagons, I then started cutting out, excuse the rustling, I then started cutting out 1/2-inch hexagons. And then I don't know what came over me. I think it was nearly Christmas. It was the last classes before Christmas, and I thought, there's some leftovers. You could cut 1/4-inch hexagons. So I've got a big bag of these. And I just don't know if I'm ever going to... Let me try and hold it up and show you. Look how tiny they are. And the papers are even smaller. I've bought the papers too, but I don't know if I'm ever going to baste those. They're so tiny. Maybe I'll use them as a giveaway at some point later on, pass them on to someone who is keen to do them. But anyway, they're all cut out anyway. I didn't want to throw the fabric out. I wanted to cut as much as I could, so I just kept cutting smaller hexagons. And I think that's all I've done sewing wise. Basting hexagons. And the only other thing is the stuff that we're making at class. I could show you that actually. Give you a quick run through what we've been making at class. So the very first block the ladies came in and did was the flying geese block. Mine's is all pink and grey, but they can use whatever colours they like. And then they came in and there was this little flower. The ladies made 4 of these, so there's 4 of these. I've showed you that quilt before, haven't I? You'll be able to look back in it in a previous episode. Not the last one, the one before. It'll be episode 15 probably. And there is the little, it's a little bud. Almost like a wee tulip, isn't it? Again, they made 4. Then we made the friendship star. The ladies made 6 of these in 3 different colours, 2 each colour. And then the shoe fly block. Again, 6 of these in 2 different colours. It's a medallion quilt they're going to make by the end of it. And then we went back and did the centre block. No, we didn't. There was another flower. That's the larger flower. So the flying goose, the flying geese and the small flower are the first round of the medallion. And then the shoe fly, the friendship star and this one are for the second round of the medallion. And then we did the centre block. I left that for a while because I knew it was going to be tricky. And this is an entwined star, it's called, but it's only a 6.5-inch block. And it's quite tricky to piece it and get your points to match. So then I had this crazy idea that they could English paper piece it. I would write up a pattern for paper piecing, and I think I've put some people off English paper piecing for life. You're not supposed to do that at a class. But look at some of those wee tiny grey, these wee green bits. They're so tiny, and you've got to baste them all and sew them together. I have assured them all that if they do hexagons, 1.5-inch hexagons, they'll love it. Don't let me put you off. Try it again, because this is the first time some of them had English paper pieced, which is a shame to discourage people, isn't it? So that was we did all that before Christmas, and they've started actually putting the medallion quilt together. They've got the 2 rounds made. Oh, and because some of them really didn't like the centre block, I did make an alternative for them to put in the middle if they didn't like the English paper piecing. So that was the alternative. And then after Christmas, we went back and we're on to 8.5-inch blocks now. So this is a monkey wrench with a little pinwheel in the middle. And again, 4 of these they had to make. And the last one that they made just over the past week. I haven't finished putting this together. This one's called Odds and Ends. And what I normally do is take one to class like this in bits so they can see where each bit of the block comes from. It's easier than me walking about and trying to explain things or touching their fabric. If they can come over and just look at this, they understand it clearer how the block's made. So I'll leave it in bits until all the classes are by, and then I put it together. Just makes it easier for them to understand. And that really is about all I've been sewing on. Making those blocks, doing my EPP. I really need to get some sewing done because I've got quilts to quilt and just got stuff to do. Now, I did say to you earlier on, I would talk to you a wee bit about my Etsy shop. There's nothing in there because it's costing too much money for me to be listing things on Etsy. Etsy charge you fees for listing things. They charge you a selling fee. They then charge you a payment fee for the payment transaction. And they also, if they use your pictures to advertise on a social media channel and you sell something, they charge you for that as well. So I'm not a full-time bag maker. I make things when the notion strikes. I'm not uploading enough stuff to Etsy to justify keeping it open. And there's some months I'm listing things there and nothing's selling, but I'm getting lots of charges because you've got your listing fee charges. So I thought, I'm going to take everything down. It's cluttering up my room. I need rid of it. What am I going to do with it? So it's on eBay, and I'll link to my eBay shop below. But the bags, I'll start listing things gradually, but I've got the bags and some of the DPN cozies on just now. I've put them onto eBay and they're all half price. So if you want one, you can go have a look. The other thing that I do have on eBay, I've been having a wee bit of a clear out in here, and there's some thread that I've never used. I joined a thread club about 5 years ago, and I've got loads of thread that I bought and I've never ever used. I'm never probably going to use. So I've listed that on there. It's some more refill as well. And I've also been cutting out some hexagons. Oh, they're all sliding. I've just found cutting those rainbow hexagons from my leftovers very therapeutic, and sitting sewing them up has been very therapeutic. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a good way to de-stress when everything's getting on top of you, life's getting on top of you and you're really wound up. And I thought, I've got lots of leftover fabrics from projects. I could go be cutting those up. What am I going to do with them? Because I can't keep basting the hexagons myself. So I've stuck them on eBay as well. So there's some... It's wee sets that I've got. So there's some white polka dots. There's this grey one here with the red scissors on. There's some grey charcoal. There's a wee ditzy floral one. And then this one here. There's some sewing machines on that black one. And I've just put them on. I don't really know what to price them at. So I put 10 hexagons for $2.50. That should cover all the eBay fees. At least eBay don't charge you a listing fee. They only charge you if it sells. So... if you want some hexagons to practice on, you could download your own templates for paper, make your own, or you can buy them from Sewing Quilt. That company there, that's where I buy all my papers from. They're a good company and their postage is usually pretty quick as well. That's all I have to share with you today. But before I go, I think I'm going to have a wee giveaway. Those many bags that I've got that are lying about my room and I need rid of. They're nice bags and they're all handmade by me, so I'm going to give one of them away. So, here's one of them here. This is all quilting cotton fabric. A little bit of interfacing in there as well. It's got a boxy bottom. Just a nice size for your sock project, and it's got the drawstring closure. Okay, so just leave me a wee comment below, and next week I'll do it on the 18th of February, okay? I'll randomly pick someone and I'll reply to your comment and let you know if you're the winner. And I'll get this posted out to you, and I can let you know in the next episode who it was. But it's open worldwide, it's not just UK. So if anybody would like a wee bag, I'm going to give this one away. I've also got a little matching DPN cozy. So if you're a sock knitter, I suppose if you're not a sock knitter, you could put your circulars in it, couldn't you? Because the wire can just hang out. But the lining matches the bag. And I'm going to pop in a couple of mini skeins of yarn as well. Now these are leftover, so they weren't brand new. This is leftover from my sock knitting. And I've just skeined it back up to little 10 gram minis. So there's 50 grams here. So this one is Felt Fusion. This one's Felt Fusion, and so is that one there. That one's Ruby Slippers, and that is Yellow Brick Road. This one here is Kerno Designs, and that's Yellow Brick Road as well. These were both my Yellow Brick Road sock patterns, and this one was my candy cane socks. And then we have a little peachy one. This is actually Taylor S Studios. It was before she started dyeing with her sister, and it doesn't have a colourway name, but it's lovely. And I knitted a wee pair of peach shorties with these, with a wee star stitch design. And then this one. This is in the crochet corner, and I made my string of heart socks with this yarn. So it's just been reskeined back up. I've just wound off 10 grams, reskeined it back up, and I'm trying to put them in rainbow order, and I'll send those out with the bag. and the little, I'll send those out with the bag and the little DPN Cosy. So if you leave me a wee comment below, I'll randomly select someone and let you know next Friday. Next Friday, the 18th of February, I'll randomly pick someone. Well, if you've made it to the end, thanks for watching all the way through, and I will do my best not to leave it 5 months before I come back and do this again, okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.